Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Chinese Grand Prix. We are here ready for part two of round two. It looks like it's going to be full wet qualifying here in Shanghai. It looks like heavy rain, so we'll most likely be on the wet tires. But then no chance of rain. Nice and sunny and cloudy out for the Grand Prix, which will be 28 laps around this Shanghai International Circuit. Didn't have the greatest of sprint races last time out, but let's see if we can find something in the wet, which normally I'm not the strongest in, as you know very well, but what can we do? Let's just go ahead and see what we can do in this Audi car. Qualify higher than we did in the sprint, hopefully.
We go again. Welcome back to Shanghai. Welcome back to qualifying in China. And this is a technical, tricky track. Whoever takes pole is going to deserve it.
Well, here we go then, starting our first lap of Q1 here, and I'm just going to try to follow Lewis Hamilton's lines and braking points for this lap and then go immediately into another one. We've got enough fuel on board for a second run because I just am trying to see where Lewis is putting the brakes on and things like that. As you can see, there's absolutely no grip in these conditions, and having no traction control is really one of the big struggles in Formula One in the wet. A lot of drivers like it. I personally do not. I like when it's intermediate conditions, but just torrential rain like this is just terrible, quite frankly, as we seem to be staying with Lewis okay through some of these medium speed corners. Like this section, we're actually gaining on him through there, surprisingly. So I'm just trying to watch where he is coming and going here around the Shanghai International Circuit, as that's a big slide there from us. Luckily we keep it out of the barriers, but don't want to be making mistakes like that, as now we've got two cars coming up behind us who I'm probably going to get in their way. I don't mean to. And this corner is just going to be awful. I know it is. On acceleration there, feel the car sliding, can't get the throttle down whatsoever, as now we're just so loose out of there, and you can see the run, the AI is getting on us behind as the clipping kicks in and we don't accelerate much anymore. And now these grooved full wet tires moving all kinds of standing water out of the way for us into these braking zones, up into the final corner, and of course we go deep, run out wide, come onto the main straight, and honestly, what more can I do? I mean, I'm gonna have time finding, or struggling to find any kind of time in this car. So honestly, I don't think I'm just gonna go back out. I don't really see any use in it. Well, I know I said I wasn't gonna go back out, but honestly, moment of weakness for me. I should never give up. Always try to find that little extra fraction of a second to help us. We're currently P20, and everybody is going on to the intermediate tires as we come up behind Alex Albon, and what a queue of cars this is. Everybody's trying to make room to start their laps, I guess. I'm not really sure what everybody's doing here, as we're just going to let the grid naturally space out, but if we keep going at this rate, we'll never make it to the flag. Certainly don't want to go at this rate, but we let Arvid Lindblad by us. So yeah, everybody out on the medium tires. There seem to be a whole lot more grip right now. So I'm just going to try to get these tires where they need to be, make sure there's nobody in front of us blocking our run.
P20.
So hopefully we can find enough time to progress us up into the top 16. If not, last would certainly, not anything that's other than last would certainly be okay with me. Well, as we come down into the hairpin before our final lap here, FIA still have not deemed the track to be dry enough to use our deployment on our batteries quite yet, so we're going to flip the car into hot lap mode, come out of the final corner, hopefully get a good run up towards the line. And yes, we do. We get a big old slide though, so that might have just heated up the rear tires a little bit, but no worries so far. as now we're heading into turn 1. There's a very, very, very clear and visible racing line as we go off there of that racing line. So if you get off of it, it's very difficult to get back on in a long snailing corner like this circuit has. But at the moment, our delta, I know it says we're 3/10 up, but it's not really going to mean anything because everybody else is also going to improve. So what we need to focus on is setting the fastest lap that we can around this track, as just trying to get some kind of grip here. It's a lot better than it was, as now we get back onto that standing water, and now we're back onto the dry line here. Really nice detail that they added in this game for the weather, things like that. Love to see it in the Formula 1 game, as we try not to go fully off the circuit there. And we get the throttle down out of there. I'm struggling to even commentate at the moment because of how little grip there is as we go deep into that corner, and this has been honestly quite a sloppy lap. I really need to practice my driving in the wet conditions one of these days soon.
We've been pushed down to P21.
As we are going to be last by the time everybody crosses the line. Let's see what we can do before making any kind of assumption like that as we head down into the hairpin. Currently, track is about 4 seconds quicker than it was last time we tried to set a lap, and be very careful out of this final corner not to make a mistake like that. That's exactly what I did. Still improved by quite a bit. It's going to be P17 on the grid. Well, there you go. There, Oscar Piastri topping the timing sheets in Q1. Looks like Russell, Leclerc, and Hamilton's time on the wet tires were enough to get them through. So we're nearly setting 2-minute lap times here, but we just barely miss out on Q2. Here we would have been a lot closer had we not had that slide out of the final corner. But out in Q1 along with us, Franco Colapinto, Lance Stroll, Liam Lawson, Sergio Perez, and Arvid Lindblad. So the usual people up here in the top 10, of course. Let's see what we can do for the Grand Prix. Tomorrow is going to be a fully dry race, so hopefully we won't have any kind of appalling mistakes like we made in this qualifying session.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again, a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula 1 victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone of turn 14. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Hamilton, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Albon, Hadjar, Verstappen, Behrman, and Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Gasly, Valtteri Bottas, and Hulkenberg, Mr. Monaco, Colapinto, Lance Stroll, and Liam Lawson, Perez, Lindblad, Norris, and Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me, a real authority on all things motor racing. It's a warm welcome back to Anthony Davidson. Well, it's an excellent sprint yesterday, but we're back to the usual format now. How do they continue what they started?
Absolutely. You know, they were at one with their car. You could see that in the sprint. That's why they were successful there. And you've got to carry that through into this race today. And in a way, we've had a snapshot as well of what this driver's capable of.
Well, here we are down on the grid for the Chinese Grand Prix, starting from P15, promoted because Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris taking grid penalties. Big hit to Lando Norris in the point standings this weekend because, of course, championship leader he was, or still is, and he had an engine failure in the sprint, of course, last time out. So he had lost a chunk of points to a lot of people yesterday. And then for the race today, he's going to be starting dead last. So he's obviously going to try to have some kind of run for points or something like that. But enough of Lando. Let's focus on ourselves here. The team reckon we should run a lap shorter and come in before some people on the medium tires. I totally agree with that.
So then the formation lap is underway here in China. This circuit has mixed driver reactions with the never-ending turn one, which tends to divide opinion. And much of the course is twisty until the back straight, which is 1.2 kilometers in length. It's going to be interesting to see how the drivers get on today.
Well, some new voice lines there for Alex Jakes. I really like that for this 2026 DLC. As we see, it's a good, pretty even split of all the tire strategies.
The cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
So P15, not too hopeful for some points today, but let's just try to have a good race and at least finish it without any kind of damage and just bring our car home in one piece. To be honest, is that we're going to have the Alpine behind us and our teammate Nico Hulkenberg in front. And now we line up on the grid, waiting for the man with the green flag at the back. And it is going to be 5 red lights here for the Chinese Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. We get an okay getaway here, as you can see. Franco Colapinto and Lance Stroll absolutely shooting by us on the soft compound tires. We're going to deploy a lot of battery, though, into turn 1 to try to get some of these guys back. As Colapinto looking around the outside. These guys on the soft tires are going to have incredibly quick pace here at the start. And of course, us starting on the harder compound tires will pay dividends towards the end of this Grand Prix. As there goes Stroll once again. Can we find a way back past him? He looks like he's going to send it on the outside of our teammate Nico Hulkenberg. Absolutely he is. As how is nobody made contact through there. As now we back off a little bit. Lance Stroll and Hulkenberg side by side through this section. You don't usually see that in Formula 1. As now Stroll's still there. Is Hulkenberg going to try to fight this anymore? No. He's just going to give up the ghost here on lap 1. He knows we've got 28 more to go. As we are gaining and gaining and gaining on our teammate Nico Hulkenberg, he goes defensive to the inside line. We're going to send one around the outside, trying not to crash into the back of Lance Stroll like he did to Danny Ricciardo, as now part of our front wing gets knocked off, just as it did in the sprint race. So great on lap 1 that we have front wing damage.
Mind that front wing, it's going to need replacing if it takes too much damage.
Yes, I know. As we're just going to try to keep with these guys best we can, I guess. What more can I do at the moment? Well, as we cross the line to start lap 3 of the Chinese Grand Prix, George Russell leads at the moment as we are getting closer to Lance Stroll. Every corner that we count down, there's a particular part of the track that I am not so strong at compared to the AI, I've noticed. As this car damage is really going to start to hinder me here in the dirty air. But at least I know what it's like driving with a missing end plate. As I didn't mean to have contact with Hulkenberg there. Not 100% sure whose fault it was. I'd have to have a look at the off-board shot. But from my point of view, it just kind of looked like I tried to squeeze Nico out and he wasn't having any of it. And it just kind of knocked my front wing and played off on the right-hand side. As this is the part of the track that I'm struggling to stay with the AI. As you can see in that acceleration zone there for whatever reason. And then through this braking zone is okay in this corner, but then this big long snailing corner, final corner before we come onto the back straight, I've just never been able to get it right. Not on controller, not on wheel. Not even with traction control on, to be honest, but then we can just dump the battery down the straight and hopefully gain back a little bit of what we lost. We've got the reigning world champion Lando Norris up our diffuser on the medium compounded tire, so maybe we just let him by. As we're going to try to go to the outside of Lance Stroll. Can we keep the nose in? Yes, we do, and now we're going to dump the battery towards this corner, and by the time we get to the apex, we are fully ahead of Sir Lancelot there. So next up, Franco Colapinto on the soft tires should be dying here in the next couple of laps. Stroll was also on the soft compounded tire as I go wide once again. So that corner, not sure why it's so tricky for me. I've also struggled with that. I've just struggled with this circuit in general. I mean, to be honest, I do not like this circuit. If I'm being 100% real. As that seemed to be a little better through that corner on Franco Colapinto. How are the tires looking? 16% on the front left, 12 on the remaining tires. So not too bad. As some battling going ahead of us. Behrman and Valtteri Bottas, the Cadillac, fighting away into the final corner here. Can't go side by side through there, boys. Who's going to back out first? Ollie Behrman backs out as we go deep again into that final corner. I think I just need to focus up
to your teammate behind, 1.9 seconds.
and worry more about my pace in this Grand Prix at the moment. Well, now we are getting a fantastic run on Franco Colapinto as he's just going to start harvesting the battery, as am I. So can't we get to the outside? He's going to squeeze us, and now we're going 3 wide with Lando Norris.
Still wasn't quite what we needed, I'm afraid. But
Trying to get up the inside. I almost just knocked my front wing completely off on the rear of Franco Colapinto's car, but a brilliant move there from Lando Norris, the reigning world champion, to get through on both of us. So, as I said, if he gets past us, our main goal should just be trying to stay with him. Is Colapinto trying to look down back on the inside, but no, he just backs out of it there. We both are kind of thinking the same thing, I think. To just let Lando carve in front of the traffic ahead of us, and we'll just follow him through. I was just about to say we're building confidence in this Audi car, but another mistake made. I just can't wait for this weekend to be done, to be honest. Well, here we go. We get quite a good run out of that final corner. We're going to deploy some battery to stay with Sainz as he's going to go for a lunge on Lance Stroll here. Stroll holds the inside. They're going 3 wide with Franco Colapinto. We're going to lift off early, back out, recharge some of that battery, but of course we go deep with that front wing damage, and there's Colapinto. Can we get to the outside of him for this final corner? No, but we certainly can get to the inside as Sainz and Stroll are doing the same thing as Colapinto not giving me any space there. I think he just knocked out the straight line mode board there. As this is starting to get serious as there's cautions into turn 1. Can't really tell who it is here. As Colapinto there, I can't believe I almost knocked my full front wing off with him. It looks like
Green flag.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what caused that yellow flag, but it seems we're out of it now. Well, here we go once again with Franco Colapinto harvesting some battery down towards the hairpin. He's going to defend the inside line. We're going to try to take it, though, if we can. And yes, we are. He gives us about just a car's length, but of course he's going to switch us back on the exit because we...
Okay, we think the underbody's in... Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
You've got to be kidding me. What just even happened? There's Lawson looking on the outside of both of us. I go extremely deep there. He tries to get up the inside. Oh, I just didn't see him. I just plain and simple didn't. That was my fault. I'll put my hand up there so you can see I get quite a slide, which kind of is what sends us into him. But then well, I'm actually turning left because by this point when we're on the grass I do see him, but Lawson is turning into me. I hate when the AI do this. So basically, I just got taken out for no reason. I think it was equally both our faults because it was my fault about that slide, but I tried to pull out of it, and he just... Unbelievable. Well, that's us out of the Chinese Grand Prix.
A superb drive from the talented George Russell, who takes the checkered flag.
To witness such mastery of these conditions, these changeable conditions that we saw today, is very impressive indeed. So a huge congratulations to this driver for taking victory today.
It will be a moment to reflect, to gather their thoughts and to enjoy all of their hard work on the podium. And absorbing the acclaim of the crowd, George Russell on the top spot.
Well, George Russell there winning the Chinese Grand Prix. With Charles Leclerc in second, Oscar Piastri comes home third for McLaren. Heartbreak for us, but as we watch these three celebrate with James Allison for Mercedes there. The champagne sprays, but unfortunately, not for us.
I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Well, there we go. Chinese Grand Prix done and dusted. Our race ends after 7 laps. George Russell taking the most points home this weekend. So we got George Russell, Charles Leclerc, followed by Oscar Piastri, Lewis Hamilton, Kimi Antonelli, finishing where he started. Lando Norris making a good recovery up to 6th position. Then Max Verstappen, Isaac Hadjar, Alex Albon scoring points for Williams. Nico Hulkenberg actually putting a point on the board for Audi. So good effort from him. Esteban Ocon behind. Then comes Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Sainz, Colapinto. Sainz has the fastest lap somehow. Behrman, Stroll, Bottas, Lawson, Perez a lap down, Lindblad a lap down, and ourselves just out. Our fastest lap is a 139.9. Compared to what the other guys were setting around us, I mean, the pace was encouraging, maybe not in terms of lap times, but in terms of our speed through the corners compared to the other cars. Right now it's just the traction, which is just partly something I have to work on, but I mean, man, what a shame, that we are out of the Chinese Grand Prix, but we should come back stronger in round 3 in Japan. Hopefully, as another one of my not super strong circuits, but nowhere as near as bad as it is here in China. So at the moment, we sit P11, Nico P12 in the standings. That gives us 3 points total. For Audi, still chasing down Williams. I don't think we'll be able to keep up with them throughout the season. Well, maybe we might, actually, if I can get my act together. George Russell leads the championship now by 50 points. He has 50 points total. He is leading by 17 points from Lando Norris for McLaren. Then Lewis Hamilton, not far back at all in third. Charles Leclerc. And then Oscar Piastri in the Constructors Mercedes have the lead. We sit pretty in P6. So we're 6 points behind Alpine at the moment. Or not Alpine, excuse me. Williams. So yeah, hopefully we can come back in Suzuka and try to maybe get into Q2 would be a goal I'll set for the weekend. But, just appalling pace all weekend. Sprint race was terrible. Grand Prix was terrible. So apologies to everybody for that, but not the most entertaining episode, of course, but sometimes it's just how it goes with racing. So I'll see you guys next time out in Suzuka, Japan for round 3, the Japanese Grand Prix. Goodbye.